Students, in the previous video lecture, we have discussed about alpha decay, beta decay, and as well as gamma decay. An unstable nucleus will undergo self-disintegration and it will beta decay is electron ejected out from the nucleus. So as we have discussed about individual alpha, beta, gamma decay in the yesterday's, like in the previous video lecture. Now let us discuss more about this beta decay. As I told you, beta minus is an electron and beta plus is a positron. Actually, there will be no electrons present within the nucleus, but how come this electron ejected out from the nucleus? We need to now learn that. As already been informed, when an unstable nucleus, say this is an unstable nucleus where there are number of proton, number of neutron, number of proton ratio is greater than 1. This is unstable. And of course, binding energy per nucleon is very less for such unstable nucleus. Therefore, these nucleus will undergo self-disintegration. So in the process of self-disintegration, the excess neutron which is present inside the nucleus, this is a neutron. An excess neutron which is present in the nucleus will be ejected out from the vicinity of nucleus. The size of the nucleus is of order 10 power minus 15 meter, that is 1 Fermi. When this neutron ejects out from the vicinity of nucleus, immediately it splits into two particles. It obviously splits into two particles. It is one proton and one electron. So a neutron, when ejected out from the nucleus, it gets converted into a proton, electron. Along with that, there will be one neutrino released in the process. So when a neutron is ejected out from the nucleus, it gets converted into three particles: proton, electron, and a neutrino. And the proton which is ejected out, proton is unstable outside the nucleus. Therefore, this proton gets added into the nucleus, whereas the electron will be added into atomic orbitals. So when a neutron is getting converted into proton, it is positive charge, negative electron, and anti-neutrino. So neutron gets converted into a proton, electron, and anti-neutrino. This new bar is called anti-neutrino. Anti-neutrino, like new bar, has no charge, no mass, only spin. But neutrino or anti-neutrino, these particles are actually included in order to conserve spin quantum number of this nuclear reaction. See, this is neutrino. What is charge on the left hand side of this reaction? Charge here will be equal to 0 because it is a neutron. Neutron does not have any charge. Proton is positively charged, electron is negatively charged. Positive, negative, both get compensated with each other. So charge here is also will be equal to 0. Atomic number here, like neutron have one mass number, proton mass number it is 1, electron mass is not being contributed. So therefore, total mass of the neutron is getting converted into a proton along with an electron. Obviously, proton mass and neutron mass are comparably near to each other. Electron mass is very, very, very less than that of proton. So therefore, as proton is being added to the nucleus, the mass number of the nucleus does not undergo any change in the process of beta decay. Only atomic number increases. Why atomic number is increasing? Neutron, when coming out from the vicinity of nucleus, it gets converted into a proton and an electron. Proton is added to the nucleus, therefore atomic number increased by 1. Electron added to the atomic orbitals, therefore one more electron will be added in the vicinity of atomic orbitals. So as a result, Z increases by 1 in case of a beta minus decay, along with one anti-neutrino particle which is been given here. This anti-neutrino particle have no charge, no mass, it only has spin. This anti-neutrino particle is introduced in order to conserve angular momentum of the nuclear reaction. So this is a neutron have spin plus half. If we assume proton will have plus half, electron will have minus half. So plus half minus half both get nullified with each other. Spin quantum number is not balanced in this reaction. Therefore, an anti-neutrino which is involved in the reaction will be having a spin either plus half or minus half based on the nuclear reaction. So an anti-neutrino particle is introduced in the nuclear reaction in order to conserve spin quantum number. Charge is quantized here. Charge is balanced in both the sides of the nuclear reaction. Mass is also balanced in both the sides of the reaction, but spin is not being balanced. In order to conserve angular momentum, we are introducing one more particle here, anti-neutrino. So a neutron, when it comes out from vicinity of nucleus, it gets converted into 3 particles. That's what beta minus decay. Whereas in case of beta plus decay, what actually happens is a proton releases a positron. A proton releases a positron. A proton neutron plus a positron gets converted to, or else I will just write it as plus neutrino bar just gets converted to a proton. A neutron gets converted to a proton, electron, and as well as anti-neutrino. Whereas a proton can be converted into a neutron. Proton gets converted into a neutron by releasing a positron. I'm sorry, it is plus E plus. Releasing a positron, a neutrino, and it gets converted to a neutron. So this is how it is beta plus decay. This is beta plus decay, and this is beta minus decay. So a neutron can be converted to proton. Proton can be converted to a neutron. A neutron gets converted to a proton by releasing an electron and as well as proton. Like it gets converted to proton, electron, and antineutrino. Likewise, proton releasing a positron gets converted to a neutron, vice versa. Thus, whenever beta decay is taking place, beta decay can be either B positive, like beta positive decay, or beta negative decay by releasing a positron or an electron. In both the cases, either it can be plus 1 like beta plus or beta minus. The atomic number would undergo change because only charge is undergoing change. The mass, however, will be added back to the nucleus. Therefore, mass number does not undergo any change in beta decay. Students, we already have learned what is a beta decay, alpha decay, and as well as gamma decay. We need to now study the characteristics of those radiations, alpha, beta, and gamma. In order to study the characteristics of alpha, beta, and gamma radiations, you are subjecting such radioactive element into an electric or magnetic fields. So you are taking a you are taking a nucleus which is unstable. We generally call it as radioactive element or radioactive specimen. That radioactive element or a specimen is taken and it is placed in external magnetic field and external electric field. So first you will be taking a nucleus, radioactive nucleus, and you will be placing it in external electric field. Electric field will accelerate the positive and negative charges. Positive charges will get accelerated in the direction of electric field. Negative charges get accelerated in the direction in opposite direction to that of electric field. So when you are taking a radioactive nucleus and placing it in external electric field, the acceleration of alpha particle is much greater than that of acceleration of beta particles. Likewise, when you are taking a radioactive specimen, placing it in external magnetic field, and in that external magnetic field, they get rotated depending upon the strength of magnetic field. Whereas gamma radiations is not having any changes when you are subjecting the radioactive element with external magnetic field and as well as electric field. Thus, to characterize the properties of alpha, beta and gamma radiations, we will be placing such radioactive element, and this is subjected to electric and as well as magnetic fields. So first, what happens when you are placing it in external electric field? Let us discuss. If you are placing it in an external electric field, beta particles, like some particles are being directed towards positive terminal, and some particles are being directed towards negative terminal, and some particles are not at all having any change. They themselves will be moving in the direction without any deflection. So those particles which are deflected towards positive charge, positive terminal, they are said to be electrons. They are negatively charged particles. Those particles which are directed towards negative terminal, they are said to be positively charged particles. So from that we can confirm these radioactive radiations, they are charged, and the deflection of both positive and negative charges which are ejected out from the nucleus, they do not have same radius of curvature. The radius of curvature of those particles are different. So from that we can estimate the charge of alpha particles and as well as beta particles. Thus, experimentally we can confirm both alpha particles and as well as beta particles as positively charged and negatively charged particles, right? So we will now learn, these are beta particles which are being deflected towards positive, and the radius of curvature of this beta is quite less than that of radius of curvature of alpha, because whenever you are subjecting electric charged or charged particles to external magnetic field, they experience a force which is equal to QVB, where V is velocity, Q is charge of the particle, B is magnetic field. From this you can estimate charge of alpha particle, charge of beta particle, and as we know, charge of gamma radiations, as there is no charge, they are not deflected towards either positive terminal or negative terminal. Gamma radiations does not have any charge. So gamma radiations are neutral, they does not have any charge and they do not have any mass. Alpha particles are positively charged particles, because they are attracted towards the negative terminal and their charge is plus 2 times E. Beta particles charge is minus E. Mass of alpha particle is plus 4 times mass of proton or 4 times mass of a neutron, whereas in case of mass of beta particles is equal to mass of electron, mass of gamma radiations is equal to 0. Now when you are subjecting these electromagnetic radiations into electric and magnetic fields, you can characterize the properties of alpha, beta, gamma radiations. We will be now comparing the properties of alpha, beta and gamma rays in the next slide. So as I already mentioned, you can categorize the properties of alpha, beta and gamma rays by subjecting the alpha, beta, gamma rays into external electric and as well as magnetic fields. So the characters of these particles can be studied in this slide. So whenever an alpha particle is being ejected, alpha particle is made up of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Beta particle is an electron which has greater kinetic energy, and gamma radiation is just a photon. It has very high frequency, and this is an electromagnetic radiation. So whenever alpha particle is being ejected, mass number decreases by 4 units, atomic number decreases by 2 units. Therefore, uranium gets converted to plutonium. When a beta decay is taking place, radium gets converted to polonium. And when a gamma decay is taking place, there is no change of the nucleus. The charge undergo change by +2 when a alpha decay takes place, and -1 when a beta decay takes place, and gamma there is no change in the charge. And mass of alpha particle is 4 times mass of a proton, and mass of beta particle is 1/1850 times that of a proton, and mass of gamma particle is 0. Speed of alpha particle is nearly 15,000 kilometer per second, and the speed of beta particle is 3 into 10 power 9 kilometer per second, and whereas in case of gamma it is 3 lakh kilometer per second. The gamma radiations travel much faster than that of beta, than that of alpha. Kinetic energy of alpha particle is 5 million electron volt. That depends upon the emission of unstable nucleus. Sometimes it can be quite less than that of 5 million electron volts. Beta particle kinetic energy varies from 5 kilo electron volt to 1 million electron volt. Obviously, it is less than that of alpha particle. It is 5 kilo, not mega. 5 keV to 1 MeV. This is the maximum energy of beta particle is 1 million electron volt. But whereas maximum value of alpha particle is 5 million electron volt. And the energy, kinetic energy of gamma radiation is nearly in the range of 100 kilo electron volt to 10 million electron volt. So it is very high energy. Gamma radiations are most energetic radiations than that of alpha and as well as beta. And percentage of speed of light for alpha is just 5%, and it is nearly 100%, and light speed and gamma radiation speed are equal. It's therefore the percentage of speed of light is 100% in case of gamma and beta. The penetration power for alpha particles is very less because they have large mass and charge, and these can be stopped by a thin sheet of paper. That penetration power of alpha particle is very less. Whereas in case of beta, penetration power is moderate, and because they have medium mass and their charge is also less than that of alpha particles, that's the reason why penetration power of beta particle is quite greater than that of alpha particle. And this can be stopped by few millimeter thick metal. Alpha particles can be stopped by using a paper, but whereas in case of beta particle you need to use thick metal, like few millimeter thickness of metal plate should be taken in order to stop beta particle. They can penetrate through few millimeter of metal even. Whereas gamma radiations, they have very high penetration power because they do not have any mass, they do not have any charge. They can be stopped only by very thick element or a steel block. Gamma radiations have greater penetration power than that of alpha and as well as beta. Ionization power of alpha particle is very large because they have greater charge. Ionization of beta particle is moderate because they have less charge than that of alpha. Gamma radiations have no charge, therefore their ionization power is very less. These are the properties which can be estimated by subjecting a radioactive element into electric and as well as magnetic fields. And this is 4 marks important question for board exam. The nucleus Ne1023 decays by beta minus emission, write down the beta decay equation and determine the maximum kinetic energy of the electrons emitted. Given mass of neon is 22.994466 AMU and mass of sodium 22.987770 AMU. So you should write down the nuclear reaction first. As the nucleus is undergoing beta minus decay, atomic number increases by 1. So I can write it as Ne 1023 undergo decay and it gets converted to Na11. Atomic number increases by 1 unit and mass number will remain same as it is, plus E minus 1 0 plus some amount of energy Q. Now I want to find out energy Q value. If you want to calculate, you can just write it as Q is equal to mass of this Ne minus mass of Na into C square gives you Q value. That means binding energy, just how we have calculated binding energy in the previous video sessions, in the same way you can calculate amount of energy released in this process. So this gives you Q value as 22.99446 AMU minus 22.989770 AMU into 931.5 million electron volt. If you calculate this, you will be getting Q value, that is energy released in the process. And the energy released in this process is nearly 4.37 MeV. This is Q value in this beta decay process. And remember, Ne1023 is a stable nucleus. It's not unstable. This is stable nucleus, and this stable nucleus is undergoing transition to sodium 11. So this is called artificial transmutation. Naturally, this does not happen. Artificial transmutation we will discuss in next coming video sessions. Calculate binding energy of an alpha particle given that mass of the proton is this much, mass of the neutron is given, and mass of alpha particle is being given. You are now supposed to find out binding energy of alpha particle. As we know, alpha particle is having mass 4 times that of mass of the proton. So therefore, binding energy of a alpha particle is equal to delta m into c square, where delta m is mass defect of this alpha particle. I can write it as delta m, which is equal to z times mass of the proton plus a minus z times mass of neutron minus actual mass of the nucleus xza. How many protons are there in alpha particle? There are 2 protons, so therefore it is 2 times mass of the proton is 1.0073 AMU plus atomic mass is 4 minus 2 is 2, and mass of neutron is 1.0087 AMU minus actual mass of the alpha particle is 4.0015 AMU. This whole is in atomic mass units. This gives you atomic mass unit. You should convert this into million electron volt. So from here you will be getting mass defect delta m, which is 0.0305. AMU is 931.5 MeV divided by c square. Take this delta m, substitute in the binding energy equation. Binding energy is 0.305 into 931.5 million electron volt divided by c square into c square. This gets cancelled. You can calculate binding energy as nearly 28.4 million electron volt. This is total binding energy of alpha particle. Similarly, you can calculate even binding energy per nucleon for alpha particle. Binding energy per nucleon is equal to 28.4 MeV divided by 4. So in order to remove a proton from one alpha particle, that is helium-24, in order to remove a proton, you need to require this much amount of energy. It is 4,728.414 MeV. So therefore, binding energy per nucleon in case of alpha particle is 7.1 MeV is required to remove a proton from helium-24.